Hello everyone, Basic Ollie here, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to another GT Sport video. Today we have round 4 of the manufacturer series that we're currently doing with Mercedes-Benz. We are at Circuit de la Sarthe, or as what's commonly more known as, I suppose, as Le Mans 24 Hours. But let's just crack on with it and let's get into this video, shall we? So as always then, when you do one of these FIA manufacturer rounds on Gran Turismo Sport, you have to do the qualifying. Just 5 minutes to get yourselves around this circuit to start your qualifying lap. As you can see, only 1.5 minutes remaining as I cross the line. And you're probably thinking, Ollie, why are you giving this guy a nudge up ahead? Well, it is very important that you get the slipstream on the back straight, on the Mulsanne straight and the 2 chicanes that we've got on this layout. It is extremely important that we do have the slipstream. If you do not have the slipstream, you'll be absolutely nowhere in qualifying and you will just drop right to the back. So I'm making sure that I stick with this guy in front of me. I've seen him race before, extremely quick driver. You can see as soon as he goes through the corners, I really do struggle to keep up with the man, but I've got 2 people, I've got Oscar and Jay behind me who are kindly pushing me along, which is just fantastic. Now normally in any other racing scenario or game or anything like that, you'd probably get a penalty or some damage or anything like that if you were to try to attempt this, but on Gran Turismo Sport you do have that ability to just push people along without getting any damage or penalties, and the slipstream is rather strong in this game. They've always reduced it, to be fair. It used to be 1.5 seconds in terms of how close you used to have to get to actually get the suck as such, but now it's just 3/4 of a second, which is much better, but it is still rather strong, I would say. So again, as you can see, we're going down this straight. I have got no intentions of overtaking this guy. Actually, to be fair, Jay on the left hand side was looking at that, but because I've got the slipstream of the chap in front of me, I managed to just pull ahead of him. So the idea of him taking me on the inside of that corner swiftly goes out of his mind and he decides to back off, and he is slightly behind me once more. Now, qualifying lap here is not the most interesting because you have that long straight, but I'm going to skip ahead here. So you can see Jay goes for a move on the inside. Now, I'll be honest with you, around that corner, around the Porsche curves, I was effing and blinding at the time. I've calmed down a little bit since I've done the editing of this video and now I'm doing the voiceover, because I was thinking to myself, what the hell did you do that for? Like, what are you doing that for? You just cost us both time. He does, unfortunately though, get himself a ½ penalty. Now he is in my Discord and he did apologise, so it's all good, but unfortunately for him, for Jay here, he's going to get himself a ½ penalty, and you only get one shot. Remember, there's only 5 minutes to do a qualifying time here, so you've got to do your outlap and then you've got to finish it, and that is just game over. So as soon as we cross the line here, we were actually P2, but it's probably that move from Jay. It's probably cost us about a second here, and that's probably going to drop us down to what, 8th, 9th maybe by the time this is over. It looks like it's going to be 7th. Okay, 7th place. Okay, time for the actual race then. So we're in Group 3 cars. There's 19 cars on the grid. We're obviously in a Mercedes-Benz. Not the weakest car here, I have to say. It's got fairly good top end and the tyre wear's pretty decent. But if you're in a car that has low top end, such as like an Evo or a Subaru or anything like that, you might be in big trouble. But talking about big trouble, this is one of the craziest starts I've seen to a race in a long time. There's a chap here who's gone off before the race has even started. Before he can even cross the line to get underway, he's gone. And our friend, fellow YouTuber, Super GT, has suffered from the same fate. So not only did he put the wrong tyres on, because you have to use hards to get to the end, there's no point going on mediums, which he is now. As soon as he gets underway, he gets a shed load of oversteer, gets himself a ½ penalty, and just says, see you later boys, game over, I'm out of here. So he's rage quit before we've even crossed the line to officially start the race, I guess. And this chap, unfortunately, we're going to watch a replay here. He starts the worst possible place after that chicane, puts his foot down, cold, hard tyres. The rear tyres were having absolutely none of it, no chance, just oversteers almost into the wall there, and his race is basically over from where he started. So, yeah, dramatic start to to say the least. Wrong tyres, rage quits, spinning before the race even starts. Yeah, it's pretty manic. It's pretty manic. Now this track, okay, it's very, very broken. And throughout this race, I'm going to try and explain to you and show you exactly what I mean by that. So as soon as this combo came up, well, as soon as this track came up, I knew we were in big trouble. As long as it's not Group 1 cars, it's not too bad. But Group 3, yeah, it's probably the best of the worst situations. So we're going to go on the back straight now. So we're going to go on the Mulsanne straight. Really, really important that you keep in this slipstream here. So you can see I'm just about in it. So it's about 6/10. Like I said earlier, it needs to be about 3/4 of a second, really, if you want to stay in it. Well, that is what it is. But the race itself was pretty uneventful until the last 2 or 3 laps, where it really started to kick off. So on lap 5 now, again, going on the Mulsanne straight, you can see the Ferrari there. He's unfortunately gone wide. I'm not sure what turn that is, 5 or 6 maybe. But he went wide, touched the gravel, that was it. Game over. So we go ahead to lap 6 now. Now I have outbraked myself here. Just missed the apex of the first corner, but you can see there's a chap up in P4 there. He's going to get himself a half-second penalty by the looks of things because he has cut that corner. But that corner is a very interesting talking point. So stay with me and I'll explain to you exactly why. Now I'm only half a second behind TX3 Mitchie here, but as I go through this corner, he's got such a good slipstream to the car ahead. It's much stronger than the slipstream I've got, and eventually you're going to see the timer in the left. It goes above that 3/4 of a second, and there's absolutely nothing I can do because as soon as I'm at that slipstream window, it's game over. Like I'm just losing time. So we're going to fast forward here as we go down the straight. We'll go past both the chicanes, and I'll show you exactly how much time I have lost. Remember, it was only about 3/4 of a second, 8/10. So it's now 1.6 seconds. Ridiculous. So I've lost nearly a second in slipstream alone, and there's nothing much more I can do because we're going to go on another straight here, all the way down to Indianapolis, I believe the corner's called. Now I am going to be, well, I was raging at this point because I go through this corner here, get myself ready for Indianapolis, and I just get slap banged with a 1-second penalty, and I'm just mind blown. I'm like, what the hell have I done here to deserve that? I was literally going, what the, you know, all sort of expletives, obviously not in the recording, as I'm doing this voiceover, but yeah, you can imagine how I felt. So I served the penalty, and as I'm about to go through the last chicane here, I get a lunge up the inside from Ryan. I didn't see him. There was no way I could see him. I've only got the radar, but it was at such speed, I couldn't really do anything. And then I missed the apex, but I go over it, and so does Ryan. So we both get 1-second penalty. So we've gone from, you know, fighting for potentially, you know, 4th or 5th place, dropping down to 8th, serving a penalty for God knows what reason. The chap behind us, actually, as you can see, has actually got a half-second penalty as well. And yeah, so all 3 cars, 7th, 8th and 9th, now have a penalty. But I also got another penalty as I cut that corner. But we're going to go over these corners and we're going to go over all these penalties because in my eyes they're very, very much broken, and I'm going to prove that. I'm going to prove my innocence. Okay, I'm going to prove my innocence. It might look bad now, but trust me, it's really broken. It really, really is. But we're going to finish the race here on the end of lap 7. The Ferrari here, I'm not quite sure what happened, but he seemed to have just got reset, and I've moved up to 8th place after all that. So I finished 8th. But then I'm up to 7th because someone up ahead, SCK, as you can see, he's just about to go off the leaderboard. He didn't use the right tyres. So I think he started on mediums and just stayed there. And that's why I was right up there. So we're going to finish this race in 7th place. Not the most eventful in terms of racing, but there's plenty of stuff we need to look back at on this one because it really did kick off throughout the rest of the field. So we're going to have a look back at this. So this is Boo Boo Racing. Now he hits... Now, I'm not going to say that name. He hits him, and then he gets a corner cut. Is that a corner cutting penalty, though? Is it? I don't think it is. I think that's a contact penalty. So he gets one there, and then we're on board with Daco here. He outbrakes himself, unfortunately, goes off the track, and then comes back on track on the racing line. Destroys Jake's there, and he's going to get himself a 2-second penalty. Thoroughly deserved on that one, I think. Outbrakes himself, caused the incident all alone. Now this chap here, the German, you can see he just cuts the inside of the corner ever so slightly there, and that is going to slam dunk him with a 1 second penalty. Rather harsh considering where you have to serve the penalties. This chap here, Dako once more in the jack. He's going to run wide, going onto the Mulsanne straight, and that is going to cost him a half-second penalty. Now, the Frenchman here in P3, look at this. Did you just, like, can you explain to me how badly he has cut that corner and got absolutely nothing when I got mine? So we're going to slow this down. I'm going to pause it mid-apex, and we're going to go into the camera view here. Just look at this. How far is he off the white line? Now, I know what some of you are going to say. Oh, but he's on the curb, Ollie. It's absolutely fine. You can be on the curb. Trust me, you can't, and I'm going to show you. This is some proper, I hate to say it, BS. This track on this game is 100% broken. I don't know how this chap got away with it on this one, but he did. But however, he goes for it again on lap 6. As you can see, well on the curb, cuts it nowhere near as much, but he's going to get himself a half-second penalty. Explain that, atheists. Explain it, please, because I am just losing my mind trying to understand what the hell is going on. Again, look, I'm going to slow it down for you. We're going to get to the apex. I'm going to go to the point where he's literally off the track the most. So we're going to go into race photos, click on walk mode. As you can see, but he's still on the curb. So that is not an excuse. He's on the curb, but he is all 4 wheels over the white line. So how comes he's got one here, but he didn't get one earlier? Answers on the postcard, please. I have no idea. So this is what happened to the Ferrari guy, as you can see. He just outbraked himself. I'm not quite sure what it was. I think he lost the rear end of the car, unfortunately. And that just caused him to just lose control. And he couldn't get it back under control. And he tries to slow down, but the game just thinks, whoa, you're going to cut that. You're going to try and get a position. And immediately resets him. Probably the right thing to do, but I felt for the bloke here, because he did end up losing 2 positions with just 2 corners to go, which is insane. So this is my penalty earlier. My assumption here is there's a very thin white line there, and I assume the game's looking at the track limits from the thin white line and not the curb. But I don't like that because the curb's outside the white line, so I don't know. I don't really like that too much. This is where Ryan went up the inside. A good move by Ryan, to be fair, I think. Slightly aggressive, but he did get the move done. But you can see he cut that corner like crazy. Blue Racer here, or Oscar I should say, gets a half-second penalty before that chicane. I was thinking, how's he done that? Where can you possibly get a half-second penalty? Well, here it is. He did that. You see that? I think he goes over the curb. Well, the game certainly thinks he does. He goes over the curb on the right-hand side, and he cuts it again through the chicane and gets himself a 1.5-second penalty. Now, I had a look back at this, and this is as close as he got to an off-track. But you can clearly see he's still got 1 wheel on the white line, and he didn't go any further than that. So again, it's pretty broken. You can see as I go through it here, it's not good. I don't get it. Like, he's, again, if we go through that again, look, 1 wheel on the white line, still absolutely fine. It's not. He didn't get any worse. He always had 1 wheel on the white line. So should he have got a half-second penalty for that? I don't think so. I don't think so. And then here's his next one, I think. I think this is where he got another one here. As he goes through... Yeah, I've gone too late on that one, so we're going to have to go back. Okay, let's see if we can go back on that one and see if we can get that sorted. So, we're going to go through this corner once more. We'll skip ahead. Here we go. So, he's going to go through this corner, left-hander here. Right, okay, let's just quickly... Yeah, we'll move a little bit forward using this... I can't remember. It's not really a skip one, is it? But there you go. So, here he is mid-apex. Now, that's cutting it fine. That is cutting it fine. I can kind of get why he got one there. I mean, it literally is a pixel over the white line. But again, it doesn't excuse why the Frenchman earlier cut it like there was no tomorrow and got no penalty for it. He gained so much time from it as well. So much time. It just beggars belief. I just don't get it. I really, really don't. But really frustrating race that. Not much racing, but a lot of penalties, and just general stuff going on that shouldn't really be happening in a race like this, especially if you're trying to qualify for a world final or whatnot, because that's what people are trying to do here. So, yeah, strange one for me. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll catch you for the next round. Take care. Ta-da.